podcast, and you're listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. And today I have Miss Rania Arwani with us today. I am super excited for her to share her story. But before we get into it, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what do you do?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm an attorney, and I specialize in family law, domestic violence injunctions, and divorces, modifications, child-related issues, anything to do with the family is my specialty.
Nice. So I met her, well, not personally, but I met her last year at an event called I Am Brave, and her story was absolutely amazing. And to me, after she told her story, I absolutely felt like she is brave. So I wanted her to go in and tell a little bit about her story and how she got started. As she stated she's an attorney. So to see where she came from to now being an attorney, it's very inspiring and inspirational. So I just wanted her to tell her story for other people, to inspire other people that might be going through it at this time, maybe experiencing some symptoms that can, show, okay, this is a situation you might want to get out of. So I want her to go in and just tell us a little bit about her experience.
Okay, so I decided to be an attorney after being in a very kind of difficult situation. I was married at a young age. Shortly after high school, I met my ex, and I moved to the States. I moved to Texas. I grew up in Dubai, United Arab Emirates.
Okay.
Of course, with my family lives there, and they still live there. Extended family, everyone is there. So when I moved to Texas with my ex, I had no one.
Right.
But at a young age, he's kind of the first person I knew. And things just started, going the wrong way.
Right.
Within a month.
Wow.
Within a month, yes. And as a child, you always think of yourself, oh my God, when I get married, I'm gonna, my husband's gonna be just like my father.
Yeah.
My father treated my mom, the best treatment ever, and she treated him like her king, and he treated her like his queen. So whatever my ex did, I always thought, what would my mom do?
Right.
Well, my dad never treated my mom the way my ex did me.
Right.
So that was the wrong comparison.
Right, absolutely.
The completely wrong comparison. So the first time it happened, he kind of crossed the line was after a month and a half after we got married. And he woke me up and decided if I don't get up and get prepare breakfast for him and his dad, then I'm gonna pay a price.
Wow.
I did not believe it.
Right.
To me, like, oh my God, he's kidding.
Right.
He's lying. He's
right. Like,
what a stupid joke.
Right.
It didn't even click that he's serious. And I just, was, this is funny.
Right.
And he actually came back to the bedroom and attacked me.
Oh wow.
So that was very shocking to me.
Wow.
Extremely shocking. Shortly after that, I got pregnant with my first child. So we have two kids. And he promised that everything would change, everything would be perfect.
Them promises, guys. Them promises.
Well, not just that. About the promises. So I came here, of course, I was on a green card. And he had convinced me by then, if I tell anyone that he will cancel my green card, get me removed, and I will never see my daughter again.
Oh, wow.
And I believed it. Because I didn't research, I was groomed. So victims of domestic violence are groomed.
Yeah.
It does not happen overnight, it does not happen, it takes a while for the victim to believe everything she's been told.
Right.
So within a period of time, and these, the abuser could be a male or a female, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But the abuser takes his time or her time in grooming their victim.
Right.
So after a period of time, you believe it.
Yeah.
When he said, I will get you deported, to me, there was no reason to question him.
Right.
To me, that was a fact. He's going to get me deported. I will never see my daughter again.
Right.
and it just got from bad to worse.
Right.
Then I got pregnant with my son,
Mhm.
our second child, and that was like when it was the worst. So during that time, he was violent, even during my pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had my son at 27 weeks, 27 and some, because he decided, we were out one day, decided that we were, I think, an hour and a half away from home. He decided that he's gonna kick me out of the car, me, my 2-year-old daughter, and our nanny, in the middle of the street. And he decided, because he was angry about something, that is what he needs to do.
Right.
Stop the car, drag me out,
And
put our daughter in my arms, and left.
wow.
It was midnight,
Oh wow.
and I was on the highway, in the middle of nowhere.
People really do that stuff?
Yeah.
Like I see it on TV.
Yeah.
You know, like when you watch movies,
Right.
but in real life, people really
They're that evil.
go that far.
Will go that far, and there is no reason. Like nothing happened that day. Nothing. Just got angry. I don't know if I asked the wrong question.
Right.
Or maybe I looked at him the wrong way.
Right.
I don't know. Like, but nothing happened. Just stop the car. Get the heck out. Gave me our 2-year-old daughter. The nanny left. We had the nanny. In the middle of the highway.
He left the nanny out there too.
Yeah. I mean, thank God she was with me.
Right, I know. At least you had a nanny, right?
Right.
Thank God she was with me. And it was midnight. And my daughter would not stop crying.
Of
Yeah.
course.
They
She's
can,
too
they,
terrified.
can, they can feel it. They can feel the energy too, the negative
Yeah,
energy.
and I was pregnant. I was like 27 weeks.
Mm.
And I was, like, it's the middle of the night. And I was what? I think I was like 22, maybe 23. And I was like, something is bad is gonna happen. Someone's gonna like fight us and kill us. Like, you know,
Right,
at that
of
point, you're
course.
just like, I'm in the middle of nowhere, somewhere in Dallas. So I ended up calling a friend after midnight, begging her to get me a ride.
Wow.
I need to go back home.
Right.
So she came, she gave me her car, and she and her husband, they went back to their house, and I used her car to go back home. I got back home after midnight, and he was eating pizza.
Wow.
He was sitting on the
I'm
sofa
dead.
having pizza.
Like nothing.
Like nothing. He was busy eating pizza.
Did he have like a mental
Yeah, I was gonna say like a mental
illness or something, or was it just a evil? Or because I mean, are people
It's
really?
control.
It's control.
I don't know if he has any mental illness or not, but what I know is that that's an issue with control.
Right.
So when they feel, when an abuser feels that their partner is going somewhere, might be better than them, might be doing something, because I was in school at that point.
Right.
I didn't have my bachelor's degree, but I was going to
He
school.
was going to school.
And his thing was, you're stupid, you're unintelligent, why do you
Because
want
he
to
was
go to
bring
school?
you down.
He was the weak one.
Right.
That's how I
He
know
was the
they
weak
go.
one.
They're always the weaker.
Right.
weaker
Because I
person.
was pregnant, I had the kids,
Right.
and I was studying, I was going to school full time, I was doing the whole 9 yards. And he did not like that. To him, that was,
It gave you power. Like, oh,
she might
She
say
might-
something.
you know, get her degree. She might do this, and now he won't have that control over you. Because when you have nothing, the control is
Right.
more powerful because you have nothing.
Yeah.
You know, so you feel like, dang, if I make this one move and I have nothing, then what I'm gonna do? I kind of feel like he was showing you, with you having nothing, what he can do, like what he can do, the evilness that he can do to you.
Yeah.
You know, like that's ridiculous. But what are some of the signs? What are some of the early signs, or did you see anything before it got that deep?
I did not even get a chance to see anything before I got that deep, because I used to live in Dubai, and he used to reside, or still resides, in Texas. We met through mutual friends.
I was just gonna ask you that. How did you?
Right.
Through mutual friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a friend of his father knows my dad, and they were visiting in Dubai. He saw me at my dad's office,
Right.
and he wanted to get to know me better.
Was he nice at that point? Like when he met?
He was dies.
So
At that point, I mean,
Right. It wasn't until he got you
Right.
out of a
Right.
familiar situation.
not only
And then
that,
he
from around
showed-
her surroundings, her
Right.
safety
Yeah,
surroundings. Now he
see?
has you.
exactly. Now he had me back. Like he had me in Texas with no family around, and he knows the minute he told me, "Oh, I'm gonna have you deported. You'll never see the kids again." To me, you do whatever you want. I'm gonna be like whatever you want me to be, but you're not taking my kids away from me.
Right. Well.
Now I know there's neither here or there, but it's like I know you stated earlier that you got married within a month.
Yeah. No, I did not get married within a
Oh,
month.
okay.
The abuse started within a
Within a
month.
month. Okay, so
After.
how long were you guys married for?
Married for 4.5 years.
4.5
Oh,
years.
wow.
Now when did you actually get married? During that, is it before then or after?
For the wedding, you mean?
Mhm.
What do you mean? Oh, I moved to Texas 2 days after the wedding, and because he lived in Texas, so he came to Dubai.
It's like coming back and forth,
Yeah, he
like a
came, like,
long
coming
distance.
and-
So you were married before then, and then you
No,
come
no, no,
back
I
for-
got
You're not
married,
married
like-
here in Texas.
We got married in Texas
Yeah.
and in Dubai. So we got married in Dubai. We had the
Oh.
wedding, the big wedding in Dubai.
Oh, okay.
And then
With the
back-
family.
okay, and then you came back.
And then I
And
came
then you
here
came
as
here.
yeah.
And you guys got
Okay,
married.
because I was gonna say like there's some, sometimes you before you get married, maybe you'll see signs. You're dating, you see some type of signs, whatever. Like I don't even want to go through with this, but the fact that now you're locked in, it's like
It's
you
a
know.
wrap.
Yes.
But it's like he waited. It seemed like he
Right.
waited till he got her in the outside of her comfort zone,
Right.
To then show his true colors, right?
Yes.
Because when you got here to Texas, it was not here to Texas because we're not in
from
Texas, but you know what I mean. When you got to
Florida.
Texas, that's
Right.
when he came out with the big bad bold,
Yeah.
and started to show those things. And it's crazy because it's like he knew, like, I'm gonna wait till I get her
I get
out of her
away.
comfort
Yes.
zone,
And then
away
it got
from.
worse. It got really bad after I had my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and it got the worst after I had my son.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know like my mom, I grew up in a domestic violence situation with my mother and my dad. And as crazy as it sounds, most of those people, even though they can be, my dad was like, I mean, I didn't really get attacked when I was, because I was a baby at the time, but I watched like my sisters and my mother go, through just, I mean, some of the worst abuse. But I know there were things about my dad though, apparently that was good. There were good things. Like he was a very good provider, a home provider. Like he took care. We always had homes. We had the cars. He had his business. My mom was well taken care of. But at the same time, so some of those things I always wonder, like, was there anything that was good that even though you went through the bad times, you're like, all right, this is the reason why I'm staying beside your children. Like, okay, because they tend to say, I'm not going to do it again. And then you always come with something nice. And it makes you feel, okay, I'm comfortable again. And then you get back in the situation again where you're,
No.
so you never had, there was nothing.
Even if he did,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Oh.
The minute he laid hands on me, to me,
He crossed the line.
crossed the line.
Wow.
And for him to tell me that he's gonna take the kids away from me,
That's even worse. Like you knew
Yeah.
what you were
Yeah.
dealing
No,
with,
there is
serious
nothing that he can
manipulation.
do. No, the only reason I stayed is because of the kids.
Kids.
I mean, there is no
Wow.
other reason
Mhm.
that I stayed.
Right.
No other reason.
So I know that her time. She's a busy lady. We got a busy lady. So I know her time is limited. So if you want to just discuss like the breaking point, what was the final breaking
Last
point for
straw.
you that
Yeah.
made you say, you know what, I
I'm
can't?
done.
What were the actions you took when you decided you couldn't, and
That led you up
that
to
led
this
you
point
up
now.
to this point
Yeah.
now?
Okay, so what a very important thing usually happens when someone decides that
Mhm.
I need to get out. Before I made that decision, I thought because I have no one. Like my family doesn't live here. I didn't have friends. He completely isolated me. I knew no one.
That's
But
how
when
they
I say no one, I mean no one.
one.
I actually mean no one. But when I decided to leave, it was my friends the people who supported me were my professors, the cops, my physician, my attorney, the investigator. I mean, it was amazing
Wow.
the support you get when you think that nobody cares and nobody's gonna stand
Right.
for you and nobody's gonna support you, and you find this army
Yes.
there to tell you you can do this.
Right.
And the first person who actually, and I think you heard this before, the first person who told me you need to get out of there is a nurse.
Yes.
Wow.
She's the one who told me you need to get out of there, and I would, because his threat that night,
Yeah.
the night that I had to leave.
Right.
So the night I had to leave, or I left, he got angry. He attacked me. He threw an object at my head, on
Oh my God.
my face, my head, and I started bleeding. I passed out. I was on the floor for I don't know how many hours until they decided they're gonna take me to
So
the hospital.
so they stood over you and watched you?
They stood over me and watched me bleed in the kitchen, on the kitchen floor.
Wow.
Him, his sister, his
Are you
brother.
serious?
That's
And the
ridiculous.
family normally takes up for them too.
You're right.
Oh no, they were worried. They were worried.
They were worried, but they were. I'm like,
Not about me.
About what? About the repercussions if something
Yeah.
did happen to you.
What if she dies?
Right. They were worried about that. Like,
What's gonna
but
happen?
what I mean, did any one of the family members never, participate and say, hey, this is wrong, or
No, not really. No.
and they take up for them.
They
Like
take-
they
yeah.
don't
and it's,
see.
it's the same
right.
way like with my mom, like my mother, not like she doesn't. We don't really talk too much to this other family, which is kind of sad. But it was, it's family. It's not that they condoned it, but it was kind of like,
No one said anything. No one.
It's not
stood
our
up.
business.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Our business, and
It's
if
not
right.
I
It,
don't say
kind of was like
anything-
my mom, like maybe her fault,
Right.
The only reason I went to the hospital, or the only reason they agreed to take me, is because his brother-in-law was actually worried I would die.
Mhm.
And what he was afraid of is, what if she dies in my house? I was in his house.
Okay.
So he kind of convinced him, she needs to go to the hospital. But they did not take me to the hospital. They took me to a neighborhood doctor. And the neighborhood doctor called the cops.
Thank God for
Because-
that.
Because coming to man, carrying
A
female
lifeless-
person
mhm.
who is kind of unconscious, to men carrying her. She looks very young,
Mhm.
which I was. And I'm unconscious. And they're not going to the ER, they're coming to this neighborhood doctor.
So
And
they
just
knew.
so they took me inside and they called the cops.
Thank goodness.
But when my ex knew, he freaked out and said, oh no, we have to get out of here. They took me, and then the nurse followed them and told them, I took your license plate. If you don't take her to the ER, because they called the cops,
Right.
they're gonna find you.
Mm.
Of course, the threat started, if you tell anyone, you're gonna get deported, you're never gonna see your kids again.
Yeah.
So that's why when I went to the hospital, I did not say
Say
a single word. Nothing.
Mm.
And he blamed my daughter, who was 2.5.
Mm.
She hit her with a big toy,
Mm.
and that's why she's unconscious. That's why she had a concussion.
Wow.
He blamed my daughter.
Wow.
So the nurse was the one who's kind of pushed me that night.
Mm.
But that night, I mean, when we talk about the worst of the worst, I partially lost my eyesight.
Mm.
I had a temporary memory loss. I could not, like, I would look at my kids, I could not remember their names.
Wow.
Like, I would look at Dana, and I would go like, what's her name? I cannot
you couldn't.
remember her name.
Mm.
I could not remember my son's name. My kids, I could not remember their names.
Wow.
So, yeah, but now I'm fine. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Thank goodness.
Right.
But so that was the worst of the worst, and that night is the night I left.
Mm.
Like when he actually took me out of the hospital against doctor's orders or wishes, and he had to sign the document saying if anything happens to me,
Mm-hmm.
he's responsible. Da da da. And they told him she might have like a brain injury, she might be, having internal bleeding, like something. Like
Right.
she might die.
Right.
I don't care. I'm taking it out.
Wow.
So you were
So
done.
what did the nurse say to you when because I think you said they went to do
An MRI.
Mm-hmm.
Did an MRI, CAT scan, or whatever they did. So on the way, he wanted to come.
Mm-hmm.
She said no. And he said, no, I'm going to come. And she was, no, you're not.
Right.
And she took me on the stretcher, and she left, and she's, the door's closed behind her, and he's not going anywhere.
Right.
So on the way, she was like, so what happened? I would not say anything. And she's like, I know you can hear me. What happened?
Right.
And she was nice,
Mm-hmm.
but she was very assertive.
Right.
And I would not say anything, like I would not speak, and she's like, okay, so what is going on? But I would not say anything. So
Right.
she's
Scared, yeah.
so she got really upset, and she's like, he's not here, just talk to me. And I was not responding.
Right.
And then she it's not that she got upset, I think she got she wanted to help me, and she did not know what to do.
Right. She knew you was in a bad
And
situation.
she knew the story of her daughter hitting her.
Because
Because that's what they told her.
BS.
You know, that's like to her, it's like, what on earth? Her 2.5-year-old daughter did not do
Can't
this.
hit her right.
Did not do this.
Regardless of how big the toy was, it
Right.
would not damage.
What force
Right.
would this 2.5-year-old
Exactly.
Right.
have to
Right.
cause this?
Mm-hmm.
So she said, if you're doing this to protect your daughter, or if you think you're doing this to protect, your children or whatever, you are not in any shape, form, or manner. This is not gonna happen. And she said, next time you're brought in, you're not gonna be brought in on a stretcher. You're gonna be coming in a body bag, and it just hit me like a fellow bricks.
Yep.
And I thought, oh my God, because I did think when I was there on the floor, on the kitchen floor in his sister's house, I thought I was gonna die.
Right.
Like I actually thought, coming in and out of consciousness, I'm gonna
You're gonna
die.
die.
And at that point, I partially lost my eyesight, so there were like 2 big black holes in my eye.
Oh, wow.
I could not see.
Mm.
So I thought I'm gonna die. Like I thought, okay,
That's
definitely, I have an internal bleeding. Probably they can save me, but
Right.
you have
All the
thoughts.
things. Right.
So I'm like, if I die, what's gonna happen to my kids?
Mm.
So that's
What's gonna happen to
the
me?
wake up call right there.
That was the wake up call. That was the, oh my God, like, no.
Right.
So that night when he took me out of the hospital against doctor's wishes or orders, that was the night I left.
Mm.
I went back home. I waited for them to go to bed. She was not 2.5. She was actually 3.5.
Okay.
Almost 3. Took her and left.
Mm.
And I went to the cops, and I thought about going to the cops and just telling them, hey, if you find me dead, call my dad.
Yeah.
It's an international call. I can give you a calling card. Like,
Right.
I was that groomed. Like I was worried about how are they gonna make an international phone call.
Right. He just had you where you felt like.
And the cops were like, what are you talking? And when I walked in, I still had blood on my face.
Wow.
And I looked bad. And he was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm going to tell you something, but you can't, like, I don't want you doing anything. I just want to tell you, if you find me dead, this is the person you call. And to a cop, when you tell them that,
they're going to act on it. They're
going to act on it. They're not waiting for me to say yes or no.
Right.
You know? So then that's when the whole thing with the investigation started. And then the investigators started calling me, the prosecutors started calling me, and that's when it started. And I decided to be an attorney. So that your question was, how did you become an attorney?
Yeah.
So I decided to be an attorney during the criminal case.
Mm.
I was the witness, and that was the first time I felt my voice being heard.
Yes.
Because and I still, she's a friend of mine. I know her. Now the prosecutor. It's been 15 years, 16 years. She was wearing a gray suit.
Mm-hmm.
And she stood there in the middle of the courtroom, looked at the jury, and pointed at him. She was loud, and she's like, he did this to her, and this is what happened to her. She had a brain injury, she did this. He laid his hands on her, he beat her up, he did this, and you have to make him pay. And she was saying it, first time I've ever felt, wow.
Yes.
And what the feeling she gave me, I had to
give
it
you
back.
right. Yeah, that was.
It was like, I'm gonna be an attorney.
That's awesome.
That was the day I decided. I didn't even have my bachelor's degree by then.
But so what?
And I was like,
but whatever you put your mind to
to
and speak
do
of, you can do
I
it.
need to be an attorney. So that's when I decided, and I started the journey.
Have you had any, just out of curiosity, any cases similar to that?
Domestic violence?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
So does it
Oh,
resonate?
yeah.
Do you, because being that it is a business professional, do you ever find yourself putting your emotions or feelings into that? Like when you do have a client that comes in?
Yeah.
All
I
the
fight.
Because you would find it like, you're doing a case and you're thinking of yourself, and it's kind of like,
you
Yeah.
get emotional, and attached to your clients. I think that's the best way to be, because I feel like people that experience something,
you've been
they've been there, they're gonna fight for you, you know?
Yeah. I had a opposing counsel one time tell me, I've never had someone fight this much. Like I've never had this before. Like you're fighting. Like you're fighting. Like I'm there on the phone, like trying to settle a case with him, and I'm like beating a dead horse. Like, this is what we're gonna do, otherwise we're gonna do this, or
Right.
trying whatever the laws that we are following.
Wow.
Right.
But they were like, I can't tell you how much. You're fighting. This guy is so lucky to have you represent him. It was a guy I was defending. But that's
Like, I've been there.
I've been there.
Right.
I've
Been there. When somebody says, you don't know what I've been. Oh, yes, I have. I've been in your shoes.
been in your
Oh,
shoes.
yeah,
And that's the best person to fight for you. Someone that's been there and has made it
And
out of
have
it.
that passion.
So now
to
that
give it back.
you can't say, oh, you don't know what I'm going through. You can say, yes, I do, honey.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
When those things were happening, he never, like, the kids were always separate.
One time he touched my daughter.
Oh, Lord.
One time he beat my daughter. And I told, that was shortly before I left.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened for this one time, and I heard her scream. I ran into the bedroom, and he had if you remember those old metal trays. Do you remember those old metal kid trays where you have a little thing and you put them on the floor and then you play? Or he took it and he put it. Back then she was 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
He put it on her toes.
Mm-hmm.
The little 2.5-year-old toes. The tray on her toes, and he put his foot on top of the tray and pushed the tray down.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
now he had issues. He had
mental issues.
I think he had mental issues. Like he had to have, because who in their right
No one that has a
mind
right mindset
would do stuff like
Oh,
that?
she's being punished because I don't know what she did. But I heard her scream. I ran in there. I kicked the tray. I picked her up, and I told her at that point, like, you wanna abuse me? That's I will deal with that. But if you touch my daughter, I swear to God. And I told him, I swear to God, if you ever touch her again, and I meant it, I will call the cops in a split of a second if this ever happens again.
So did he serve time?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, bastard. Sorry.
Sorry.
Right.
For real, like, that's ridiculous. I'm just so happy that
You got out of
you
that.
got out.
Yeah.
And that you are here to tell your story and fight for other women and men, because men and women, go through it, and that you can be an advocate for other people. Because I swear, at that event, I've never experienced domestic violence myself, but I've been in situations and seen other people. And at that point, when I heard your story, I mean, me and the other women that were at the table, we were just, and I really wanted you to tell the story how you told it at that event, but I knew we don't have time for you to do it how you did it. But when you finished telling that story and you said, I am she, or however you worded it, I was like, yo, that's just the story, not what you went through, but that how you got out of it, and how now you're today speaking for other women and men and fighting for other people's lives, because we need more people like you.
Yeah.
People are definitely going through some harsh stuff with their partners, and they don't know, like you said, they're groomed.
They're groomed.
Right. So they don't know
they need to ask.
That they need to get out.
They need to get out. They need to ask.
It just goes to show you sometimes you can take a negative situation and turn it around and make it a positive situation. And that's very much what you did. So, I love your story. I wasn't there to get to hear the story prior, but this is just enough to hear how inspiring it is. I'm glad you got out. I see. I have your ring on, so I see that you're now. And you're in a better situation, obviously.
I must say, when I saw it the first time, my face was like. But
so you're in a better situation.
I couldn't do it the way I wanted to.
There's an outlet, guys. There's an outlet. You definitely can go from here and with I mean, I don't know if you're a religious person or anything, but how I look at it spiritually, I definitely believe in God, and I believe when you have God behind you and He places people in your life, angels to help you. Just give I know your time is limited and you have to go, but just give a quick just to let anybody know how somebody out there that may be watching, that how they can get out of this,
or even to
afraid.
Their information
quick,
to reach out to you.
How to,
reach out, her information.
And your
so
information.
Reach out.
My information, Harbor House. I volunteer for Harbor House.
One of my favorite places
I
to
love
volunteer for. I love Harbor House.
Harbor House. They do an excellent job. If anyone needs help, I mean, there are so many resources out there.
Right.
So many resources. Of course, a victim who is groomed does not know these resources. But if a person asks, the victim asks, calls an attorney, calls Harbor House, I mean, they will listen.
Yes.
People will listen. And when I was in that situation, I did not know people would listen. I was afraid if I call, people would either like not take me seriously or not believe me or just not be interested and this is your problem, what do we do? No, that's not the case. That is not the case. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like, someone going through this, please call Harbor House, call the 1-800 hotline, call an attorney.
Help.
Definitely
She
want to
said
give
she
a
didn't
feedback.
have nobody, she didn't know nobody. So don't let them make you feel like because you don't have no support, you don't have people that you feel gonna listen. She had no one, but still she was able to seek help, and get out.
No one and 2 babies.
With 2 babies.
Yeah.
Okay?
No one and 2 babies.
So don't make them feel like, again, like she said, she used the proper word, they groom you. So don't feel like no one is there to listen. They have people out there, like she said, contact the Harbor House, because she is a walk-in monument that you can get out, you can get help, and you can be successful. Like, her name is on the building, guys. I'm trying to have those same goals.
Well, if you need, if there's anybody out there, we do have the number. I just wanted to put that out. Get help, NCADV, the National Domestic Violence Hotline, and that's 1-800-799-7233 or 1-800-799-SAFE. So wrap it up.
Yes,
Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
We're gonna wrap it.
We're gonna wrap
We're
it
gonna
up.
wrap it. All right, guys.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
The traveling pants of a single mom.
And we out.
Rania Arwani.
Yes.
Peace out.
Thank
Thank you, guys. Thank you.